Hello, Money Queens and listeners. Welcome to Women Behind the Millions. Let's meet the women behind the millionaires, the women supporting, guiding, celebrating women with their wealth. You will hear from women millionaires, how they got there, what they wish they had known, what got them to be a millionaire, the emotional side, the spiritual side, the practical side of wealth. You'll also get to meet the women behind the scenes helping make it happen. Let's dive into Women Behind the Millions. I am Jessica Weaver, your host, best-selling author of 3 books, wealth advisor, and founder of the Women's Wealth Boutique. Let's start meeting the women. Hello, Money Queens. Welcome back to another episode of Women Behind the Millions, where we talk all things power, pink, and prosperity. You'll see a QR code on your screen where you can scan that and get your free guide, your voice, your story, your power on how to step into thought leadership and what that looks like for you and building that community around you. Tonight, we're going to talk about a topic that comes up so much among my mom friends is the balance of work and life, the balance of when do I go for it, knowing my family is going to be okay. And is there ever a perfect time to launch this idea, this business, what has been on my mind? So I'm really excited to have with us Gina Martin. She is our financial trendsetter of Financial Trendsetters 4 with us, and she has such an empowering story. She started an agency from scratch, not once, but twice, juggling both a growing family and a company. She's a small local agency and now grown into a hybrid remote in-person staff that makes them nationwide, which is just incredible. So let's bring to the stage with us. Here we have Gina Martin. Hello, Gina.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. How are you tonight?
I am wonderful. Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh my gosh, thank you for being here with us and for your chapter in Financial Trendsetters. What was it like going through the process, having this chapter, writing about yourself and what you've accomplished?
It's very unveiling. I think you just start to where you just go through the grind and you get what you need to get done as it comes up to you. And it really just made me stop and pause and reflect on what my experiences have been and maybe what I would have changed, not have changed, but still looking forward to whatever opportunity came next. So it was a wonderful experience. I'm very glad that I took the opportunity and wrote the chapter.
And we are too. It was very empowering, emotional chapter because I feel myself going through your journey, as I'm sure so many moms will too. You talk about redefining success on your own terms, kind of like reimagining that wheel. You can see the Pinwheel Planning logo behind you. And from hospitality to financial planning, launching a business while expecting your first child. What was that like? Can you take us back to that moment in your life?
Well, I was working for a financial company at the time and kind of integrating the different products that I had in my agency. So we had the Medicare side, the health insurance side, kind of meshing with the financial side, trying to figure all of that out. And I really just thought I should start my own business. And the opportunity came up to where I had a mentor of mine that said, you can start this opportunity from scratch if you'd like to. You can do that now. You can take the opportunity later after you have the baby. But I was in the mindset that there's no waiting. I mean, things are going to become obstacles, right? It's like, what am I going to do now? I actually have a baby. I'm just pregnant right now. When I have the baby, that's going to be a whole nother set of goals and expectations. And I figure let's just tackle this while we're kind of in the last trimester of our child. So it was just worth the time and energy to develop in myself. Then I felt that it was to continue to give to a company that maybe wasn't giving the benefits that I needed. And I was going to have a new role of motherhood, and I wanted to be able to have the flexibility to be able to excel at both if I could.
I love that message. There will always be obstacles, expectations, as you said, and the timing is never going to be perfect. It's like, well, I'll just wait till this time. I'll just wait till I get over this and past that. And then the next thing comes up on your plate for it too. But for you to take the time, and I guess nothing gives you perspective like being pregnant. and realizing.
Yeah, it seems like I've gotten my craziest ideas being pregnant. I don't know why that is. Like, it's like you can kind of see in the chapter, it's like it mirrors is like, oh no, I'm pregnant again. Let's do something else and see what we could get done during that time. I felt very creative during all of that. And also while navigating, my children are 2.5 to 3 years apart. So it's almost like you had the dizzy duck after, having the baby, and then you're doing so, and then you're like, oh, I'm back to myself for a little bit. Let's do something else.
Yeah, we'll have to keep. It sounds very similar to me. How much of a maternity leave did you take, Gina?
The first time, couple days. I think I was 4 days. I was in the car going to write a life insurance policy that had been pending. I have really good support staff. I have my parents that are local here that kind of help out. But at the time, I think on my fourth child, I think I took 2 weeks working from home. It's a passion of mine. I have to make sure that things are where they are and meeting my client expectations, my family expectations. We've just been able to figure it out. Getting up earlier helps a lot than others do.
Hidden trick. Get up earlier, ladies.
Top trick. I actually experienced it this morning. I thought, okay, I was going to get up like 4. I got up at 4:45, and I was a little behind, and then I had a little boy kind of trailing me around, all into, kind of making that a little bit slower process of getting things completed and stopping and pausing and sitting with him for a little bit, and things you want to do. But had I got up earlier, maybe I would have been able to do a little more in the morning. So
that's sweet. I had a similar occurrence Monday morning as my son's first day of camp, and he comes and finds me, and I'm finishing up my makeup and my hair, and he just latches onto my leg. For dear life, I'm like, you are so much like me. I was painfully shy. I would have done the same to my mom. But it's a good reminder of, while we're doing this, and to have the flexibility with your career to be able to spend different kinds of time with your kids.
Yes.
It might not be that cookie cutter version, but you're able to find those pockets of important moments.
I do find that. I find sometimes I credit it to being a professional time shifter. It's just, I don't work. I do work traditional hours, but within those traditional hours, there's holes and options for me to navigate how I need to, or work on the business when they're business activities. Owning a business has its own activities in addition to actually serving clients during the work hours that they need you as well. So making sure to shift all of that time is very important for me to be able to still, having 4 children, navigating a marriage and staff of almost 20. And so it's the only way to do it is to be flexible in that.
Wow, that's incredible. How about what lessons, you started out in hospitality, what have you brought from that world into the financial planning in your firm?
Well, I still use it even today, even going out to dinner, whether it be a fine dining restaurant or a little pub and grill type of restaurant. I learned from that people love the concierge approach to being taken care of. Now, granted, wherever, you chameleon into your environment in that situation, but I learned a lot through a fine dining experience about order of operations and how to perfect timing, your time management and customer service in regards to your appearance and your communication, and the expectations are usually met. So I felt like that just could be chameleon into anything that you would do. I didn't know at the time what I may work myself into as opportunities, but those core concierge type, making sure the client is taken care of from start to finish, made me feel good and made me feel accomplished in that sense, that they were satisfied. So it's carried on through everything. So
I'm sure every little piece of service that you do, you probably look at it through that lens. How are we taking care of our clients?
Yeah. It is. I mean, I note all the little nuances of each person, of how they like their communication or their colors or their coffee or whatever it may be. Is important, because that's the relationships that you're building. I'm from a small community, so it kind of goes deeper than just my office. I'm seeing individuals at baseball games or the the coffee shop or wherever you may be in town. So, it's important to know those details about your clients.
Sure. That's a great reminder. It makes them not feel like it's another factory, another number, just another review to get done.
No, and there's not a lot of female entrepreneurs in our area. So not a lot of opportunity for that. So this is why it was somewhat unique and created where we're at. So it makes it a little bit more relatable. I like to think, because I'm still the mom. I'm still the person that is juggling my own finances, preparing for my own future. And I think I can meet most people where they are in regards to their financial goals, or maybe they haven't started yet and they're 35 or they're 45, wherever they are. It's kind of my thought process is, you can't really go backward, but we can go forward, and wherever you are, we can arrange how you want to see how your life today and tomorrow, and in an easy to understand type process that Pinwheel provides in that sense, since we have different divisions of our company. But financial is probably the least educated in our rural areas. So I find myself being a little more of a resource for that than I do maybe some of the education that they could just go obtain online or in any readings.
I'm glad you said that, because there are some people that are big in the media, and it feels very condemning, condescending, the way they talk to people about their money. Almost makes them feel bad about the decisions that they've made in the past with their money. So when you said we can't go back, we can only move forward. Let's not dwell on these different things that we could have done differently. Let's just focus, what can we do now that's going to make a positive impact?
Yeah, and it
move forward.
We as women it's a common trait that we want to know everything before we do something, and that's just not reality. So that's why that when there's that hesitation of knowledge in the financial sector, that a lot of action isn't taken, because it's hard to take the first step when they don't know all the steps. So in trying to make it simplistic of a process, that's what I was talking about, like the concierge before, like you usually don't get dessert first, right? You get your appetizer, your drinks, those type of things first. So I think it's just making a playbook and being right alongside in other women in the case that, it's not hard. It's just not commonly understood. And if it's an easy way for us to break it down and understand, it's very actionable. It's very easy to take the next steps, whether it be small or big or whatever has caused you to have the conversation.
Mm-hmm. What would you give credit to the growth of your firm? Was there anything in particular that you focused on and you saw it take off?
Well, I've kind of been known as, in creating Pinwheel as seizing the opportunities as they come up. I mean, I've kind of dabbled in a lot of knowledge over the years. I have family members that are disabled due to illness and one of injury. My father's in the financial industry and banking. So I kind of always had like the knowledge about those areas. My mom was a nurse. So I've known about that. I've gotten into being a long-term care administrator, a nursing administrator. So I've kind of experienced that. So I kind of have all these experiences. Even being 40, when I started early in my 20s, I was already experiencing a lot of what other people were experiencing. So it was easier for me to gain the knowledge. And then I grew a passion for those. So too many passions, I guess, in that sense. But started just getting opportunities where opportunities were at, I started creating them because women-owned businesses weren't here, but there were men that were retiring or moving out of the area and passing away, to where there's a big shift to the next generation that wasn't happening. So I was willing to start from scratch and acquire clients and really all the areas of our agency, the home and auto, the wealth side, the life, the health, all of that. And I just couldn't do it all myself any longer. So the real change was understanding that I needed to create sectors in my company and then have department heads or those that were truly educated in that product, because things are ever changing. It's not easy to keep up with everything that's happening and all the changes of tax laws and just products and technology, and you really want the best for your client. So engaging in my staff to hire and develop really changed that opportunity for me.
Wow. Hiring is not my strong suit. Do you use a company that help recruiter to help find those, or is it word of mouth? What would you say, Gina?
I mean, most of it's kind of handpicked in the sense, just being from smaller communities, you know who are the movers and shakers that maybe not be business owners, the willing to take the leap because there's not a well-laid path, but there are people that are working for companies that are grinding themselves, wanting to be moms. So a lot of offering here of flexibility. And just as I have been, a lot of opportunity to grow within the company. One of the staff members that I've had that's been the one person that started from the beginning in that sense is she's been from a producer to now she's in operations and HR running payroll right now with my other staff person. So really organically have found strong women in our area that see the vision, see the growth, and really focus on customer service in a local level.
Beautiful. You have a quote that stood out to me. If I don't bet on me now, then when will I? And I'm thinking about these people, these women that you're bringing onto your team, the same thing for them to understand. This is the time to bet on myself. Nobody else is just going to hand me this. It's my turn time to take it for myself. What does this statement mean to you, and how has it shaped the vision of your business?
Well, I say this a lot to my staff when I come in with my crazy ideas to buy an agency, or when I was like, it's either we're going to jump or we're going to get pushed. It's so
jump or push. I love that.
I mean, you're standing on the edge. You have this opportunity in front of you. Are you doing, are you going to be jumping and trying to be proactive about the opportunity, and who are we going to help and who are we going to reach? Or are we going to wait until the industry or compliance or whoever forces us to make the change? And that was a big reason why I went to be an independent agent versus being a captive agent. It wasn't that I wasn't successful in that sense. It's just it kept boxing in the thoughts that I had of what a successful agency would be. And it's come to fruition now that we have more women as part of it. It wasn't like let out to be a woman hear me roar, like I'm an only female agency, but it has lent itself to be an opportunity that I'm seeing now for women that want to be in this industry, that don't know what they're doing necessarily, but have the passion to succeed and be part of something and help other women. They're more in the education sectors, or I have people that were teachers here. I have people that were nursing home administrators themselves. I have people in banking. I have people in nonprofit work. None of them were in any kind of financial industry before, or insurance industry. They were all developed based on their personalities and their communications and really their service. You can't really teach that. You can teach product knowledge and processes. You can't teach heart and grit and growth-minded individuals.
That's true. That genuine wanting to help and do better for people and to care about the relations above the product. All right, too. You're right. If I wanted in my life to be local, I needed to build the opportunity myself. How have you created this community? You mentioned a few times you live in a close-knit community. How did you use that to your benefit with the firm?
Well, I started again working for other individuals, to where I was just an office in a room and trying to work within all the guidelines of that company. And when I became independent, the rules were off in the sense of I can choose how I market, where my logo is, what I'm trying to put my logo, on. Right now we're having a county fair, and a staff member of mine was like, let's put our logo and our information on those bands that, because there's all this going on for showing animals and just general activity. And great idea. I mean, it's just, we're very integrated. I have women that believe in being moms, and that also helps being in the community.
Sure.
I moved my agency from not a big community, it's only about 30,000 people, but I moved my agency from there to 5 blocks down from my home.
Yeah.
So renovated that. That was an opportunity that came up. I also own an agency office in Abington, which is just south of here, where I have my tax and bookkeeping main hub of our business, which was my hometown. So I just put the efforts also into us, our staff, but also their community. I'm sponsoring different activities. I'm attending different activities. It's not hard when it's a normal part of your life to want to help and be involved in your children's activities. When I first started, I didn't have any children, right? And so it's kind of grown to more opportunities of what does that look like where I could still be involved and still have some mindset of a growing business as well.
Yeah, if I'm going to be there anyway, I might as well show up and have the business side of it as well. If I'm already going to be at a race with my kids or the fair with my kids.
Yeah, and it's a different vibe for individuals when you own your own company versus when you are branded under a captive company. They maybe feel that there's more stake in that. There's more stability. There's the advisor that they want from now until as long as they can. And I think it's appealing to individuals as well, being younger, that we will be here for the next transition of time or wealth transfer that may be here. I think that's appealing to a lot of older individuals that we work with as well.
Sure. Yeah. That's a great perspective on being independent, that there's a larger stake. You really care about the work. And there tends to be a lot of turnover at those larger companies. A lot of turnover. You might have 5 different advisors within a few years.
Yeah, you're just not able to hide. I would do the right thing anyway, but you're not able to hide, right? When you're independent and you're owning your company, it's every action that you take is somewhat magnified. In that respect, would probably be the only negative of that is that, the intentions are good, but sometimes little mistakes happen and you correct them with grace and commitment to fixing whatever you can. And that's the compass I just try to live by that way. You have a good conscience in that sense, but still helpful and a resource.
Yes, that's beautiful. I think I'm in New Jersey, outside of New York City, and I was like, you got to go where everybody is. You got to go into the city. So when you mentioned you went from a larger community to a smaller one, I thought, wow, it can happen. And the inspiration that you don't have to do it how everybody else is, but there are ways to really tap into a local community that you already care about to grow your team, grow your clientele, foster that community.
Yeah, we had a pivot definitely from, I always want to be a hometown agency. That's never going to change. I still will have whatever staff I need, whatever resources I need to maintain this community and be that person, because there is going to be those individuals that still want to walk in. They're not a virtual clients. They are here because we did plant our agency here community-wide, and they want to support each other. But recently I'd had an acquisition of a female-owned agency that was fully remote in the Chicago suburbs, which is 3 hours from us.
Okay.
And that did offer the expansion of my company to where I have the arm of a hometown, and then now I have the opportunity to be countrywide because the staff there were fully remote. And so it's been navigating that channel for the last 3 months of that transition. So I'm excited that it's not just a hometown, but I'm also proud that it is just a hometown with this other extension.
No, that's amazing. Right. Well, I still love the jump or get bus. That's going to stick with me, Gina. We have one more question for you. We went through a lot today, but there's always going to be an obstacle. When do you find the time to invest in you? Being a time shifter, that's a great quote too. That concierge approach to taking care of your clients, hiring the right way. As I said, jump or get pushed. But we have one more question for you, Gina. Here we go.
What makes you a woman behind the millions?
What makes you a woman behind the millions?
I would go back to my relatability, as someone that you can come to and speak to about whatever you would need, kind of your own therapist in some sense most days. That we're here. We have the resources, we have the energy, the loyalty, just to make the experience wonderful for whomever comes through our door. And that's the commitment that we have. And that just turns itself into millions for that person, for us to feel like $1 million too. So that's what I would say.
Exactly. Helping millions of women create millions of dollars of legacy.
Yeah, because our great wealth transfer is here. So, we need to be prepared for it. We need to be jumping in and understanding that the women need help, and we are the right people to do that.
Yes. Amen, Gina. Well, thank you so much for being a part of Financial Translators 4, for being on the show tonight. It was a pleasure to get to spend some time with you and learn more about Pinwheel Planning, how it came to be, the growth of it, alongside the growth of your family, which is such an empowering, inspiring story for women to see that you can grow your family. You can also have growth professionally with your business, with your career too. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, Gina. And thank you to all of our money queens for tuning in. We will see you next Thursday for another episode of Women Behind the Millions.
Hey, money queens, looking to get your wealth to that next level, 7, 8, 9 figures? Follow us on Instagram at PinkFixMyMoney and at Women's Wealth Boutique for more millionaire money tips.